it's an actual issue, you know. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was interesting. It's a little dangerous. I never recommend going by yourself.
Absolutely
but,
not.
You know,
Yeah.
Because we had some encounters with people. Luckily, they were cool, but.
How's it going? I'm your host, Enrique, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we got a very special guest, very artistic. He does anything from street or photojournalism, portraits, to the nightlife, from Burbank, Illinois, to the streets of Chicago. Welcome to the show, Film.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm super happy to get you on the show. I know you're a pillar and a mentor to some people that I hang out with. So I was really excited to get you on the show, and I absolutely adore your work, especially your street photography. Can we get into a little bit of where you started, where you're at, and where you're headed?
So I probably started maybe, I want to say like in 2017, I started taking it more serious, the photo and video work. I used to DJ more. That's what like I kind of started off. And then I kind of took a break from it, and I was really like into like the visual arts and like visual aspect of things. So I picked up a camera, and I just started kind of like doing street photography, going out, not knowing what I was doing, but after work, I'd go out downtown and just like take pictures with my friends, and then just started going from there. And then like my first work that I actually started getting like booked for was like nightlife photography. And then from there is just like meeting people and like getting into other things, getting into like more events, doing branding, things like that. And then right now I'm trying to focus more on like, I guess like building a team, just because like it's hard doing everything by yourself, as you might know. You know, it's like you can only do so much, and then you get stuck, and then it's like you're not like progressing, not getting to what you want to do, and it's just like that's kind of like what I want to do now is building a team, showing people whatever I know, or like exchanging ideas, because I just like helping other people if I can, you know, and like building along the way. So
Nice. Yeah. And what can people look forward to? What are some projects that you got planned ahead for this year, or just in general? What are some goals that you have?
So I always wanted to maybe like start like my own like brand, like clothing wise. So there's a couple of things that I'm working on with two different people. We haven't really talked too much about it, so I don't know if I can say too much about it, because like just I haven't really told them that I was going to be here talking about it. So
Yeah.
But it's with two. One's with an artist. One of them was a good friend of mine that's been in the industry for a while.
Can you shout them out?
Yeah, one's Juan. His name's Juan.
Shout out Juan.
Big Mitch. And then I have something else going on with my homie Tubbs.
Oh, nice.
That we're going to be working on soon. So
very nice.
Yeah.
And so from street photography or photojournalism to event and nightlife and portraits, do you have any like projects that stand out that are like super memorable to you?
There's a lot, honestly. I would say one of the biggest ones was probably working at the Junior Ache concert, just because I've been a fan of his music and I always wanted to kind of like document something of his. So that was kind of memorable. Man, honestly, there's a lot.
Too many to name, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot.
No, that's cool. That's cool. No, that's amazing, and that goes to show that you're really passionate about each project that you do, no matter whether it's free. I don't know if you've done free work.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's paid, a small budget or those big budgets.
Yeah.
It goes to show that you're putting your best foot forward and you're putting your everything in these, and that typically goes for me too. I love a lot of the projects that I've done, so that's awesome. Yeah. When it comes to nightlife, what are some misconceptions that people have with your line of work of like video or photo, in like clubs or bars and stuff like that? Mm-hmm. And what are some pieces of advice that you would give to someone trying to get into that field?
I mean, I feel like some of the misconceptions people have might be like drinking all the time and like just like it can get to that point, you know, if you allow yourself to get to that point. I mean, you are being out late a lot. You do have to deal with drunk people sometimes that, you know, want to touch your gear or get mad because they don't want to be on camera, but they just don't know how to tell you the polite way. They just kind of like come at you, and it's just like dealing with that. But on top of that, I mean, I've met a lot of great people through it. I've gotten a lot of other clients through it. On just like being there with the camera, it like naturally attracts people to you and want to know like, oh, who are you? What do you do? You know, what do you work for? What are you shooting? You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, I have this construction company. I have this product. You know, I have like girls that do. Oh, I do lashes. I do nails. You know, it's like, can we do something? All right, for sure. You know, exchange info.
Dang.
And then it goes from there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a cool industry, you know. I was never really like the person that was like, oh, I want to go to the club. I want to go to the club. I want to do this, you know. But like the opportunity arose, and I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a try, you know. And then yeah, just from there, I did it. I've been doing it since 2017. Kind of slowed down on it a little bit just because it got tiring.
Oh yeah,
I used to be out from like Wednesday through Sunday. There was like a little time period where I was doing like every night, and sometimes be out maybe early as 2 in the morning heading home, sometimes 3, 4 in the morning. So it got draining. But yeah, I mean, I'll still do it here and there, but I'm trying to like, you know, like go on to other things and, you know, pass it down to whoever ever needs any nightlife stuff. I'll teach you, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I love that. I feel like, you know, we're very blessed here at XR Space to have a team already. But likewise, you know, we're trying to continue to build our team. Although we have a team, it's very small, you want to grow, you know, not just personally, but as a community, you know. And we will touch on that in a little bit on the third segment. But what would you say is your driving force when it comes to your line of work? Is it purely monetary? Is it a self-expression, or is it someone in particular?
Honestly, I would say like my family, my son is like a big thing. I always try to like kind of just show him, you know, like you could do what you want to do, just keep at it. You know, you don't have to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5 at all. You know,
Oh, yeah,
like
absolutely.
nothing at all. Like whatever it is that you do, that's perfectly fine. But it's almost to show him like I can make a living off photo and video work, which, you know, like I don't know how it is with you, but coming from like Mexican parents, sometimes it's more, it's like, no, you got to go to school, you got to work and this and that, you know, like, and I've always been like the type of person that's like, I've had my jobs, you know, I had factory jobs, and I was just like, I never want to come here again, you know, because it's just like, you're like, boom, 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 and it's just like, it was just constantly like having the thought in your mind, like, I could be out there doing this, I could be out there doing this, you know, and yeah, just thinking about him all the time, and then the money, obviously, you know, we do it because we do need money to get paid for it. If you're talented, I feel like you should get paid for it. If you're providing a skill or a service to somebody, you should get paid for it, you know, if they're going to benefit. Obviously, when I first started off, I did a lot of free work, you know, and I didn't mind it, you know, because I knew eventually I could get to the point where I could make this like a full-time job. And when I first started, honestly, I want to say like the first year, 2 years, 3 years, I was doing free work. And even till now, like, you know, like if I see something that's like a good opportunity or I really want to work with the person, you know, hey, like, let me do this for you, you know, let me show you what I can do.
Right.
Something comes out of it, perfect. If not, you know, I'm not going to be mad at it, you know, but I'm still going to try to keep in contact with the person or whatever, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I like to sometimes think of our profession as a sport, you know. How are you going to have game days if you're not going to spend days practicing?
Exactly.
Right. So although sometimes people have that misconception of, but it's free, you know. But yeah, you gotta put in that time to try out new concepts or try that new edit, whether it be photo or video, you know what I mean? So I'm never opposed to doing free work or collaborating with others because it opens up more doors and more possibilities, right? When it comes to photography or video, is there anyone in particular that inspires you or you look up to, anyone you want to collaborate with?
A lot.
Yeah.
But when I first started like photo work and all that, I was really into like the street photography. Well, that's what I wanted to do. Like I was like, oh, I want to be a street photographer because I would see like just the moments that they would capture. You know, it's like things that you're not gonna capture again. You know, I mean, obviously that's what anything else, but it's just more like the random moments, the random people, like being out walking around and like I would sometimes just take the train and get off on the stop and walk for like an hour, hour and a half, just walking around and see where I ended up. You know, just taking photos. But there's this photographer. That was really. I think he's still popular, but his name was Van Styles.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another guy called 13th Witness.
Yeah, 13th Witness,
Yeah.
yo.
So they used to do these crazy, like, I guess you could say, like, video vlogs or something, like them going into, like, abandoned areas and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I want to go into abandoned places.
Right.
You know, and, like, because of them was the reason, like, I started going to, like, Michigan to Detroit to, like, explore, like, all the, because there's a lot of abandoned
Oh,
like,
yeah.
places over there,
Detroit
you know?
is notoriously known for abandoned warehouses. Yeah.
Which is, like, it's sad, you know, like, because there was a block that we went to, and there was an abandoned school, and we went in, and we literally drove like another block and a half, and there was another abandoned school, and I was like, wow, like, you know, like, it's like serious out here. And then you go downtown, and there's abandoned buildings in downtown, which is like I had never seen before, you know? And it's like, it's serious, you know, and we're going there for enjoyment, but at the same time, like, just thinking, like, it's an actual issue, you know, but
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it was interesting. It's a little dangerous. I never recommend going by yourself.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Because we had some encounters with people. Luckily, they were cool, but
Oh, okay.
you know,
Do you follow Volandis by chance?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure,
Dude.
He's a beast.
Dude, absolutely amazing. The way the storytelling, it's very similar to your work. I feel like it's very photojournalistic, like he's telling a story. And I think that's what I love about your work, is that I feel like with the portraits that you have taken, it still has that photojournalistic feeling to it. It doesn't feel like a portrait. It feels like you're telling a story, you know? And that's why I truly admire your work. But no, I as well, you know, growing up Hispanic, I feel like for a lot of minority parents, they're like, no, you have to go to school. You got to get a 9-to-5. So I relate to a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
And I started off with just taking pictures of friends and family. And then in college, I was forced to go to the city to pick up supplies for film. And that's when I got into street photography. And man, I absolutely love it.
Oh, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's fun.
But let's jump into the next segment, which is called Spray and Pray. Are you familiar with the term?
No.
For those of you who don't know what Spray and Pray is, it's a term used amongst the creative community, mostly photographers and some videographers, where you hold down the shutter button, spraying a bunch of photos and praying you get the shot that you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah. So this segment will include me spraying a bunch of questions at you, this or that, while you're praying to finish this edit. So I'm going to present you 3 photos, all right?
Okay.
You have the choice of doing Lightroom Classic or Photoshop for that generative fill. Okay. I chose these 3 images, one being concert, because I know you do like the nightlife. I believe you've done some concert stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with sueños and stuff like that. Super sick work.
Yeah.
I also chose a photo that I took in New York, street photography, and then a portrait.
Okay.
A little bit of different stuff because you yourself do a bunch of different stuff. So I'm going to give you a minute. Choose between the 3. The first photo that was chosen was back in 2019 at Michelada Fest. An artist named Ryan. Shout out to my boy Dewey for getting me into Micha Fest. He was DJing for Ryan, which was super cool. And the second photo is a street photography photo of just this gentleman laying by a fountain enjoying the day in New York, which is super nice. I really enjoyed that photo. And then the last photo is of a model named Chloe. Shout out Chloe. And it was just like a mock campaign for Calvin Klein. Once you have the photo chosen, just let me know, and then I'll go ahead and get the timer started.
Cool.
And let the people know before you start editing, are you doing it in Photoshop or Lightroom Classic?
I'm probably doing Lightroom.
Lightroom? Okay, cool.
Cool. All
You
right.
ready?
I'm doing the model one.
The model one? Okay, cool. 3, 2, 1, and we're off to the races. 3 minutes. All right. First, spray and pray question. Reading or audiobooks?
I like reading.
Reading? Okay, cool. Next, music or podcast?
I'm a big fan of music.
Music?
But I like podcasts, but music.
Music. Okay, cool. Next one, Movies or series?
I would say movies, just because sometimes I don't have the time to finish a whole series, and there's a lot of series I've started and haven't been able to finish them.
Oh, okay, cool. Headphones or earbuds?
I would say earbuds.
Earbuds. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Android or iPhone?
iPhone all day.
He's all day, all day. Laptop or tablet?
Laptop.
Laptop. Next one, PC or Mac?
Oh, PC.
PC?
Or Mac.
Mac?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm a Mac user.
Oh, damn, so you're having a tough time right now using a Windows laptop. Next one, urban or suburban?
Urban.
Okay. Next one, Sony or Canon?
I started off with Canon, but I shoot on Sony now. I would say Sony for the low light, Canon for the color.
You gotta choose one, man. You gotta choose one.
I even have to go with Sony because that's what I shoot now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Next one, Nikon or Fuji?
I'll go with Fuji.
Fuji? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. You got a minute, 30 seconds left. Half. Next one, flash or continuous?
I like Flash because I'm starting to get into that more.
Oh, okay, cool. Gimbal or handheld?
I would say handheld for certain movements you can't get with a gimbal.
Gimbal. Okay, cool. Next one, Capture One or Lightroom?
I've never used Capture One, so Lightroom.
Next one, Premiere or DaVinci?
Premiere.
Premiere?
I
Oh,
haven't-
okay.
yeah, I've never used.
You haven't used DaVinci yet?
But I want to.
Dude, you
I
should.
want
You
to.
should. All right, next one, TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Instagram. You got about 30 seconds left. Twitter or Reddit?
I'm on Twitter more than Reddit.
Reddit. Okay. Film or digital?
I like film. Oh man, that's hard.
I saw you got a roll of Portra 400.
Yeah,
I saw it on your story, dude. Which one you choosing?
I have to go with, I guess, digital for now.
Okay. Next one. Studio or on location?
I like on location.
Okay. Next one. Short form or long form content? Ooh, that's time. You know what? Look, I've given the rest of the guests some leniency. I'll let you edit just a little bit more, but
Okay.
as I finish the list, okay?
Cool.
Short form or long form content?
I like short form.
Short form, okay. Next one. Pre-production or post-production?
I'll say pre.
Pre-production. Last one. Get those last edits in. Photo or video?
Right now I'd say video.
Video? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Well, that means your time is up. No more editing. Drop your pencils, drop the mouse.
I was just trying to get used to.
All right, so why don't you tell the people what photo you chose and why you chose the photo?
I chose the model one just because I used to do a lot of model photography. I don't have too much on my page anymore, but that was like one of the main things I was like mainly doing, like I want to say 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I was doing a lot of model work, and that's basically like all my page was model work.
Model work? Okay,
But
cool.
yeah, I had a friend told me, he's like, look, if you want to start doing more like commercial work, campaign work, you need to update your Instagram. So if I do show them, they're not like, oh, but all he does is shoot models. Like, how is he gonna shoot our event? But it's just
Right.
like, but he can do it. But they're like, but all he has is this on his page. It's like, what do you mean? Like, so he was just like, you gotta change it up a bit, you know? And like, all right, all
Yeah,
right.
you said, all right, all right.
Yeah.
No, I firmly plant my foot. I said, my page is staying black and white in street photography. Ain't nobody changing my mind, you know? But really quickly, before we move on to the list, because I do want to ask why you chose what you chose on this or that. Can you explain a little bit about the edit and the changes that you made?
Yeah, so I was just messing around with the temperature a bit, and then I was trying to like go into like touching up the skin a little bit, but I didn't get into it too much.
It's tough. It's tough when you're trying to answer some questions and you got a timer on you, bro.
Because it usually takes me like, I don't know, 30 40 minutes if I'm doing one photo, depending how
Yeah, dude.
crazy I want to get into
Absolutely.
an hour, you know?
People don't understand it's not just
Oh, no.
touching up, a blemish here and there. There's dodging and burning, temperature change, depending if you're doing it for a brand or a business too,
Exactly.
But for those who are watching, this is the before and the after. Before and the after. I actually like the warm tone. I really like that you added that warmth. All right, cool. So let's jump into the list before we jump into the next segment. For Spray and Pray, you chose reading over audiobooks. You got any good recommendations or any books that you're reading right now that you want to tell the audience?
I just started, what's it called? It's by Robert Greene. So I think it's called Seduction.
Ooh, Seduction.
Seduction. I have it there. I haven't finished it. That's what I'm gonna start. And then I had The Psychology of Money, I believe, just because I was trying to because being creative is I feel like sometimes we don't really focus too much on the business side of it, you know. So I was trying to get into it, and then I have a friend of mine, Pablo, who does these talks for financial literacy and this and that, and he kind of made me start thinking more about the financial and the business side of things.
Yeah.
So I just started picking up those books. But I have The Psychology of Money. I have Seduction, The Art of War, which is another Robert Greene book.
I've actually been wanting to read that one.
Yeah,
Let me know how you like it.
It's I have those three books right now.
Nice.
The Psychology of Money, that's the one that I'm reading right now, and then the other two I have set aside.
Very nice.
That I wanted to start.
Next one, you chose music over podcast. Any artists that you're listening to right now on repeat?
There's this guy called Pale J. That I just came across. It's really mellow, hip hop ish, soulful.
Does it have that West Coast feeling or that East Coast feeling?
I would say more East Coast ish. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Not too much West Side, but
Okay, cool.
yeah.
And then last one that we're gonna go over really quickly: photo or video. You chose video.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that. Why'd you make that decision?
So when I first started, I was doing more photo work. That's all I did was photo work. I never touched video, just because I didn't know too much about it. But then, going into nightlife, that's when they started asking me more about, can you do video? And I didn't know, but I was like, yeah, for sure, I could do it. I'll start doing it. I was
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I went on YouTube and how do I set up my settings to shoot this?
Yeah.
And I mean, it was completely off at first, but now it's mainly the main thing I do. I get booked for is video works, and I like it more. I like more shooting than the editing aspect of it. I like being on different sets, and that's one thing I enjoy. It's never usually the same thing all the time. It's always different locations.
Yeah.
But yeah, just video work.
Video work. No, I similarly, I started off photo, but then when the corporate office that I worked with said, I had mentioned, I just want to do a quick video, and I meant when I meant quick video, I meant Snapchat. I used to do stories for the store side that I worked with.
Okay.
And they're like, "No, we can't let you." And then a week later, they're like, "Oh, hey, do you want to do a video for us?" And then I said, "Oh, dang, they talking about video." I was talking about Snapchat, And I was like, "Yeah, I can do video."
Okay.
And likewise, I just jumped into it and I started doing a bunch of research and did video myself. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed Spray and Pray. Let's jump into the next segment. It's creative community in Chicago. Which is sort of the premise of the show, is just to continue to build our community of creatives in Chicago in a stronger and healthier way, right? And right off the bat, what community would you say you associate yourself with most?
And in the video photo side, or
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be photo or video. Do you associate with more the DJ community, Latino community? It doesn't have to necessarily be creative. Just what community do you find that you associate yourself with most?
So I work with this company that I've been with since it started, called Vision 55.
Oh, okay.
And what we do there is at first we started just media. We were just covering different regional Mexican groups in Chicago. And we just started kind of off trying to get these groups to work with us. But they were like, well, who are you guys? At first they didn't want to work with us, but now that we built the name, we manage, what was it, 4 or 5 groups, I think it is right now.
Oh, nice.
All regional Mexican groups. But I'm because of that, I never really was like into that type of music, but got into it more, and now like I listen to it a lot more, and like I appreciate the music more, especially when it's live. Like there's really talented musicians in the city, so I'm really heavily into like that part. But I also like work with a lot of like reggaeton too, like reggaeton music. I started doing some events that are like more like the Afrobeat. I'm on piano, like different cultures. It's interesting, seeing the music, the style of dance that they have for everything. It's cool being able to like experience that. But I feel like mainly heavily more in the Latin side, regional Mexican music side is like where like I'm more heavily into right now.
Yeah. Would you say how involved are you with the creative community aspect? Like, for instance, have you done any like Instagram meetups for street photography, or do you do like that one event where a lot of creatives come and do that similar music? I think is Herradura or something like that. Do you do any Instagram meetups or anything like that?
I've never personally done one. I've been to some. I've always wanted to do like a meetup. I was planning a dinner with like photographers and videographers. I just want everybody to meet each other,
Yeah.
Because like I know certain people that don't know each other, and like it'd be cool if everybody just like meets each other,
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't gone around to like getting the whole thing because I was gonna get like a chef and everything. And like we have the space to do it, but I just haven't gotten around the time to like actually like getting everything together.
Conceptualize and organize and stuff.
But I definitely want to do that. But other than that, I haven't done it. But I've been to them, and I do appreciate it because we meet a lot of other people through it.
Yeah, and that's sort of what to go back to what I was originally saying in the first segment is just to continue to build this community and sort of network. Growing up, I remember, or just in college, they were like, don't ever network yourself with other photographers and videographers because they're doing the same thing you're doing. They're trying to get their bag doing the same thing you're doing. So don't do that. And I never really understood why. And I didn't like that. And I was like, but why? I think it's important that we do network and get to know each other. Like you might have a specialty that I don't. You might specialize in something that this client needs and I can't provide. So I could obviously refer you.
Exactly.
It's about helping each other. And I like that idea of a dinner. Have you attended anything like similar to like a networking event or something?
I've been to some, but I've been like booked to like cover the events, and like I guess it works like I get to network with people, but I'm also covering the event.
Right.
Because it's like been like it hasn't been necessarily for like networking events, just like meet people, but it's been more like if like an artist has like a release or something, and they invite all their friends and like invite people to come to the listening party. You kind of can treat it like a networking event because there's people there that are influencers in the music industry or like in creative curators, whatever, But yeah, I guess you could treat that like as a networking event because I've met people through things like that.
Yeah. What would entice you to go to like a networking event or an Instagram meetup?
Honestly, I like when they do like, we're gonna have like these photo ops here. We're gonna have like or models, or we're gonna do like the guy Band Styles. He did a photo walk before, so we started in front of a store and then we walked for like I was thinking like 20-30 minutes. We just walked and we're taking pictures along the way.
Yeah. And that's how I feel like most Instagram meetups typically go. It's just like it's a walkthrough. Like, hey, we're gonna start here at Millennium Park. And then we're going to walk to like Buckingham Fountain. Yeah. Or we're going to walk towards the John Hancock building, right? And those are fun. I definitely struggled to get into that, especially because I want to network with people, but then I also want to take pictures and I'm out in the street like, ooh, there's an opportunity. And then I lose the conversation. Yeah, exactly. Or likewise, I miss a moment because I'm having a conversation, right? So I give a bunch of props to those who do those Instagram meetups. But no, somewhere that does it really well is ClickCon, the photography convention here in Chicago. Have you been by chance?
I've heard of it, but I've never been.
Really good. They have classes, networking seminars. They have photo walks, and it's a really great place. I definitely would suggest going to at least one of the days if you can, because that event definitely gives you a little bit of a sense of a community, even though there's a lot of like sub communities in there. Okay. But if you do have any ideas or suggestions, what would those be to continue to grow and build this creative community in Chicago?
I would say just help people out, you know, like they have questions, and just don't be a dick about it and be like, oh, who is this guy, you know, like, I don't know him. I'm like, no, help him, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was at that point too, and I was reaching out to people, you know, like, hey, how can I do this? Or, hey, can I come help you? Can I come shadow you this, you know? Like, for sure, you know, like, if sometimes I forget, you know, people do hit me up like, hey, whenever you have a shoot next time, you know, let me know and I'll come by. But sometimes you get so tied in and just getting things together for the shoot, getting there and planning things, you just forget, you know, and it's like, oh, you know, like, sorry, bro, like, I forgot, you know, like, I didn't, not like in a bad way, like,
right,
you know, but just like, your mind's like, I'm thinking other things, but
right.
Yeah, I always try to like, whatever knowledge I have, pass it on, you know, like, why am I gonna hoard it, you know?
Right.
Like,
for those listening, what he's saying is don't be a gatekeeper. Exactly. Don't be a gatekeeper, you know? Yeah. No, and I feel like that's very common in our industry, is that, you know, people want to keep that knowledge to themselves. But I feel like it's important to share that knowledge and wealth, you know? Like, I love those pages. I'll immediately follow those pages that have like those tutorials. They're like, hey, I found this new way of filming, you know? And I really like that because it inspires others. It gives people ideas and ways to help them with their work or their art, you know? Yeah. But that concludes our show. Thank you so much for coming on here. Sure. You have a bunch of cameras. Let the people know what you got going on, what projects they can expect, and where they can find you on social media.
So actually next weekend I'll be at the Grammys. I'm going with like this food catering company. I'm not too sure what exactly I'm going to be doing, but I'll be at the Grammys, which I'm excited.
That's awesome, dude.
And
Congrats.
then the following weekend I'll be at the Superbowl, also getting content there. And then got the other two projects with like the clothing that I'll be doing. Gonna be trying to do more like storytelling, curating events type thing. But yeah, and then I mean, I'm mainly on Instagram at film42.
Underscore
film
42. Yeah.
But yeah, mainly on there. Yeah.
Nice. Well, best of luck to you on your coming projects.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can get you back on the show, get some collaboration going. Okay. If you're a creative in the Chicagoland area and you want to come on the show, if you have any ideas or suggestions on how we can improve our community here in Chicago, we'd love to hear from you. But that wraps up another episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next one. See ya.